Well, good morning. Welcome to Integrated Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith, and how are you all today? I skipped yesterday. It was Monday. I wanted to I had a lot to do yesterday, but but we're back, and it's Tuesday. I want to talk today about the key to surviving, and it's a very important principle that I don't think most people think about. Very few people. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody else cover it. I did something like it maybe a year or two ago. I don't remember, but it really is the key to surviving, and it's a key to which many people in the preparedness community are resistant, and that's too bad because it will be the cause of the downfall of many. Not just if everything falls completely apart, but it can be the downfall right here and now during the daily lives. Okay, before we get to that, a couple of things that I wanted to let you know about. Last week I said, and was it on this one? I think that it was on this channel. I was talking about a guy who got a hold of me who has written a book about Special Forces SEER School, and I'm reading. He got a hold of me and asked me if I'd take a look, and he just asked for a little advice, and I said I was happy to. And it's a great book, by the way. I'll be calling him in just a little bit to talk about doing a little editing on it, and I noticed as he wrote it that he mentioned Nick Rowe. Nick Rowe was a legend, a legendary Special Forces officer taken captive by the Viet Cong back in the early 60s, 63, something like that. And anyway, he spent 5 years in captivity as a POW with the Viet Cong, and he escaped, and he is the one who came back and essentially designed what became SEER. And I said in that video that I thought he had written a book, because it seemed like years ago. I seem to remember. Now, he was another side point that a couple of our people over on the Patreon site alluded to. He was killed in the Philippines. I forget, sometime back, and there was always questions about his assassination. I don't know whether I'll get into that or not. That's just a very interesting thing. Just like there was questions about Patton, and there's been questions about some other military units that were killed, and I can't get into that on this channel. Actually, by the way, let me finish this part. So I looked and I said, I think he wrote a book. I don't remember. I meant to buy it if he did. And yes, he did. And so I bought it. And it's called 5 Years to Freedom, The True Story of a Vietnam POW by Nick Rowe. It's everything that he went through and how he learned all the lessons by which he designed what became SEER. So I'll read this. I'm kind of busy. I don't know when I have time to get it all done. Maybe I'll do a review on it. I probably don't have. This isn't a book that needs a review done on it. You should just buy it. Okay, so it's on Amazon. Didn't cost very much. 5 Years to Freedom by Nick Rowe. Something to. I never went through SEER, and don't want to. Be real honest. I have had so many friends of mine. I mean, they have. I won't say they have fond memories, but the guys who've been through it, have memories. I'll just say that. Okay, so that's that. Many of you know that they took down. Well, they gave me a strike on American Reversion, and so I'm back on today, where I talk more political stuff. But they took me off because I questioned an election. And they gave me the strike and took it off for like one that I shot a year ago or more. And so that caused me to look into other options. So yes, now I have put up a Rumble channel. I'm not going to get off of YouTube, but now I have a Rumble channel, and many of you have asked what that is, and it is American Reversion on Rumble. And I'm putting up a second Rumble channel too, and there you have that. As always, to let you know, this and every one of my videos is brought to you by the Stonemont series, my complete series of books on how to prepare for, how to survive, and how to rebuild after a total collapse. We're going to kind of be getting into one of the basic principles of this in today's topic about the key to surviving. But these are available on both Amazon. The links I always put down there are Amazon in paperback or Kindle, or you can get them from me autographed through our website, stonemont.us. You Stonemonters know what I'm talking about. You people who don't know what I'm talking about, you ought to read the books. You'll learn a lot and you will enjoy it. I just saw a comment over on Patreon again. Somebody said, "Oh, I just got your books. They're keeping me up all night." And somebody said, "Well, they just get better." And a third person said, "I have read the series 5 times through." And I have so many. It is that kind of book, and it is that kind of series. You will feel a part of it. You'll be a part of these people. And so we are finally caught up on all of our orders. We ran out 3 times. And so now, as you can see behind me, I'm keeping a stock behind me so that now when I get an order, I can just turn around and fill it. And I get a lot of orders every day, so I have to keep refilling. And thank you to all of you Stonemonters who have become a part of us. So that's that. Now, the key to surviving. And for anybody who got upset, you just spent the first however many minutes talking about other stuff. Wow, man. I mean, you come to a preparedness channel and you can't. Life's going to be tough for you if that upsets you. That's just business. That's my other business. I was watching a movie the other night that I had never really wanted to watch. It seemed silly to me. The premise seemed silly, but my son had watched it in school. And when they watched it in school, they read the book, and then they watched the movie. And I was glad that they did, because I figured that it had some, preparedness and dystopian messages in it, and survival and things like that in it. And the book and the movie was The Hunger Games. Now, I don't know how many of you have read the book or watched the movie. I have not read the book, never seen the movie before, and I guess there's 4 out now. I just saw the first one. And I didn't want to because it just seemed silly. I can't relate to a teenage girl as the heroine who apparently, and what I found out more when I watched the movie, who apparently is in some kind of survival game against a bunch of other people, and she wins with a bow and arrow. I just, a teenage girl surviving in that, I can't relate to. Well, we watched the movie, and I'll tell you right now, I'm glad I did. And I would suggest, if you haven't watched it, that you do. It might sound silly. Right now, you might say, "Well, Steve, come on, huh? Not for me. After all, I'm a big grown person, right? Man, woman, whatever. I don't need to watch a movie about silliness with some teenage girl, out there with a bow and arrow surviving." I would suggest you watch it. There are a lot. I won't get into a lot of them, but there are some, there are things, they're not lessons so much as things that will make you think, okay, good, bad, different, whatever like that. But there was a statement made by one of the characters played by Woody Harrelson. And maybe I should lay out very quickly the premise of the book movie. Okay, it is in the aftermath. It is a dystopian, futuristic movie. It's in the aftermath of a revolution, a rebellion of the people against an oppressive government. Can I say more? Better not. I'll do that on Rumble. And as a result of the government putting down the rebellion as punishment and as a reminder, and it is well done. Let me tell you this: it is well done. I mean, the communistic tyrannical phrases and thought processes are on the money. And how this was done in Hollywood, I'm very surprised. But I'll stick this in right here. I'm glad that they're having the young people in our schools read this, because it shouts, it screams the warning against what could be coming. It really does. And any kids who will pay attention to it, it's going to prepare them to be ready for this, as did some other books that none of us paid attention to when we were supposed to read them in school, right? Okay. 1984, Animal Farm, right? I never read those. I was supposed to. They assigned them in school. I guess some people did. I don't know. I never did. You might have. You might not have. Those were the warnings of what was coming. Fahrenheit 480, what is it, 481, 442, whatever it is. Those were warnings of what was coming, and none of us read it. But why they were put out there, maybe so. This is a warning. This movie is a warning. Well, anyway, so the story is, as a way, and so all these people, they're put out into districts, and they're very controlled. There's surveillance everywhere. There's cameras on the trees. There's everything. The people in charge can zoom in anywhere, remind you of anything, and watch what people are doing. And there's different districts out there, and one district is a coal mining district, and another, none of them are good. They're all grunt work. They're all slave labor places, okay, to provide for the elite. And every year, 2 people, a male and a female, are selected from each of the 12 districts, brought in, and kind of trained for a few weeks, and then set out into the woods to fight for their survival. And only one can survive. All the rest of them have to die, whether of natural causes or killing each other or whatever. And this is broadcast to all of the uppity-ups, on their surveillance, cameras. And everybody has a good time. It's almost like a game show. Okay. Well, as part of their preparation, they are given this girl who is our heroine and her male counterpart. I think her name is Katniss. They're given a mentor to help them to prepare for this, and theirs is Woody Harrelson. Part of it is they go out. I won't go through all this. I've just watched the movie. But he makes a statement here. Because part of it is getting sponsors. Okay, interesting. Part of their whole dynamic is getting sponsors so that they will be able to get equipment and things like that when they need it when they're out in the field. Katniss is one of these very antisocial people. She doesn't want to try to make friends. She hates the system. She's a good person, right? Like a lot of us. She doesn't care about kissing ass. But Harrison tries to get her to. She says you have to be in the process leading up to this. The game itself, you're making certain appearances, trying to get sponsors that are going to help you survive. And she's resistant, but he makes a statement to her, and this is where we're going to jump off into our topic today. And he says, the key to surviving is to make people like you. So true. Right now, a lot of people in the preparedness community will be going, I don't give a damn if people like me. I'm me. I'm just me, and I'm not going to change my ways for anybody. I tell it like it is. I don't care if people think I'm an a-hole or whatever like that. I don't care about that. And that's the problem. That's why a lot of people in the preparedness community will not make it, and to be honest, aren't doing very well now in today's world. They're really not. The ones who are doing well realize the key to surviving and doing well is to make people like you. Okay, let me delve into what this is. I did one on this not too long ago. I mean, well, yeah, a year or two ago, about the secret weapon of survival. And I was saying it was courtesy, politeness, treating people with courtesy or respect. Okay, and boy, I got some argument on that from people who don't know any better. And I would explain, I don't like to be around people who are contrarian. I don't like to be around people who are argumentative. I don't like to be around people who act like a-holes. I don't like to be around people who are antisocial. And do you know what else? Neither do 99% of the people in the world. That's right. And yet I've known some people who are almost proud of being an a-hole. I just say what I think. I just say what I mean, or actually try to tick people off and think that that's funny. Well, it may be funny to them. It's not funny to anybody else. People don't like those people. And when those people need help, guess who helps them? Nobody. In business, I'm going to use several examples here. Business, the mafia, and a whole bunch of tough-ass friends of mine. In business, and I talk about this over on the Prepping for Prosperity channel, people do business with people they like. Simple as that. And people will say, well, I'll do business with somebody if they do a good job. Yes, that's right. If they have to do a good job. But assuming that several people will do a good job, you're going to do business with the one you like the most. Right? That's right. What is the result of that? The result of that is that he gets your money. What's the result of that? He's able to make his life better now. What's the result of that? If he's a preparedness person, he gets to buy more preps, right? So he does better now, and he does better for himself and his family in the future. Many of you know that I have personal knowledge and relationships with organized crime. I'm not a part of it. I just know a lot of the guys. You know one of the things that was the standout and really the difference between the lower level guys and the upper level guys? The upper level guys were nice. The lower level guys were always trying to be tough, act tough, show themselves, right? Establish themselves. Scare people, make people do things because they were scared of them. The upper level guys weren't like that. They were as nice as could be. You go to their restaurant, if they owned the restaurant, they'd come to your table. What can I get you? How's your mom? How's your dad? How's your grandparents? How's everything going? And they were just so courteous, And all of a sudden, a dessert or an appetizer would show up at your table. And this isn't when I was on department. They weren't trying to buy me. Okay, this is how they make friends. And one of the most important things you can have in this world is friends. Now, in preparedness circles, they call this the MAG, right? Or they call this your group, or they call this your, could be tribe, it could be, and people have different terms for it. It doesn't matter what the term is. I have always called mine a circle of friends, because that's what it is. Because I actually like these people. See, when you deal with people you like, and who like you, the loyalty there is strong. The loyalty is even stronger than out of fear or out of respect. People can respect you. I see this. I can see this when everybody was having problems at work. Being laid off because of the what. There were a lot of people who people respected. Who stood up for them? Nobody. because they respected this person and figured they can handle it themselves. But you know, the people who were liked, and these aren't necessarily the people that were the toughest and acted the toughest and all that. They were just likable people. They were nice. People stood up for them. They helped them. They wanted to help them because they were nice, because they liked them. I knew a guy who went to federal prison. He said he got through it, never had any problems because he was funny. Okay? He didn't go in there trying to act like a badass. I'm all tough. He went in there thinking, well, I don't think I can whip most of these guys. I'd better be funny. And he did. I think Tim Allen said something like that too, if I'm not mistaken. But this was a guy that I knew. I went to, in the last couple of years, I've gone to a couple of major events that had some of the biggest killers and ass kickers you'd ever seen in attendance. These people were across the board, many from the martial arts and not the martial arts that you would, not the street pajama dancers that we've got, but I mean guys, real guys, that probably most of you have never heard of any of them. A lot of military, a lot of special ops guys, and I mean top stuff. And there were a couple of the most enjoyable. I think I was the only former law enforcement. We're all just friends because we have certain things that have brought us together into this group or organization. Nicest time I've had. You know why? Because in those rooms of killers and ass kickers, nobody was trying to act tough. First off, they didn't have to impress anybody, but everybody knew. Everybody there was tough. No, there was no reason. Nobody's going to act tough. The tough ones never act tough. It's always the ones with something to prove because they, are insecure. Those are the ones that try to act big and bad. Everyone there was nice. They were courteous, respectful. Nobody interrupted anybody. Ever. When somebody was talking, everybody listened. And then they would converse. I don't think I heard any swearing there. I really didn't. You would have thought this was a class for gentlemen. But that's what they were. When it all goes down, these guys, any one of them, and as a group, well, they would have absolutely no trouble surviving with their physical and mental skills. But you know what gets them farther than any of that? Their social skills. That's right, their social skills. They're just nice. They're just nice. Now, that old, what was that movie, Roadhouse? I only saw it once. It's not, I know some people love that. It has a cult following. I found it a little bit silly. I'm not a big, who was the guy that I forget the name of the guy who did it, And then I'm not a big Sam Elliott fan either, I know, because he always just plays Sam Elliott. But apparently that movie was supposed to have been based on a bar around here in Kansas City. I can think of several that it could have been based on. One of the lines in it that I remember, because it's a meme, where he says, our hero with the mullet, whatever his name is, he says, be nice until it's time not to be nice, something like that. Well, that's exactly right. Why not be nice? Well, if you're nice, people will like you. You will have far fewer problems than if you're not nice. Your business will succeed more than if you're not nice. You will succeed in business. If you work for somebody else or in your job, you're going to get farther ahead. It's not kissing ass, because I can hear somebody out there, I'm not going to kiss ass, I'm not an ass kisser. No, neither am I. That has nothing to do with it. It's not about that. It's about being nice. And you can always be not nice, as not nice as you need to be when the time comes. But there's no reason not to be nice every day. And I tell you what, we're going to get back to what did Woody Harrelson say again? The key to surviving is to make people like you. That's right. You know what? If it all collapses, you know who the people who are going to be brought in to groups, even if they're not already in a group? The people who are nice. That's right. They're going to actually be able to survive, I think, at a higher percentage. Because those people, they may not have all the survival and preparedness skills. They may not come with a whole lot of food or equipment or skills even. But you know, being nice and being cooperative and being willing to get along with a group and do your part, that is invaluable. I said recently, I'll take a nice person over a trigger puller any day. I can get trigger pullers. We got plenty of them, you know. But anybody that comes to me is nice. That's what's in here. That's one of the big lessons in this. Now the lesson in this is how a family who was prepared was able to survive the total collapse of the world, but then also be able to help other people. And you know what most of those other people brought to the table? Niceness and a willing to become a part of a good community. Because skills can be taught. Niceness can't. You can't take an a-hole and turn them into nice if they've been an a-hole all their life and they think that that's funny and it's cool and it shows how tough they are. Okay? No. Niceness. There's a couple instances in here where people act in a way that's not nice, and you see what happens to them. And that's exactly what would happen to them if it happens in the real world. So anyway, that's the message today. Don't underestimate the importance of being nice, simply being nice. Easy to get along with, supporting each other, those kinds of things. Okay. So remember, like I said, if you haven't gotten it, 5 Years of Freedom from by Nick Rowe, I think a lot of you all would like that. And join us over on Patreon. If you're not with us on Patreon, you ought to be, and the link is down below. Remember the books, the Stonemont series. You can get them through Amazon or from our website, stonemont.us, and all of those links are down there. And the channel over on Rumble is American Reversion. So, and we already got a lot of people following over there, a lot of people coming by, so it's nice to have them. So with that in mind, go out and be nice, and you'll make some friends, and your people will like you, and you will have things coming your way that those who are not nice don't have coming their way. You all have a great day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and being nice is such a good way to prepare. You all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.